ended, and that means what, Taylor?
It means
Means we're
that
here.
we're here.
Yeah, means we're here. A long day, as you can tell. Taylor's in the Meadowlands right now at MetLife Stadium. People are packing up around him, so you may see some activity there as people are trying to literally sweep him out of the press box area. But the Patriots win ugly, and so but a win is a win is a win. So we'll talk about that, and we'll get into the offensive performance, which again, I still think 3 games in is a real big question mark. Defense again looks solid. This wasn't just Zach Wilson is bad. This was also had something to do with the Patriots defense. And just kind of get your take, Taylor, on what do you think actually happened here on the field here, where the Patriots again win 15-10 over the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, with a Zach Wilson led team. And Zach Wilson is just an automatic W for the Patriots, and that's going to happen. I wouldn't say they sweated it out, but they didn't really put it away. So let's just start on the offense, okay? Jets have a good defense, we know it, but still, it obviously just a real inability to get anything going down the field. It stays there. Obviously the Jets can cover. Jets have a good front. I was impressed that the Patriots were able to run the ball. I mean, let's just say their commitment to the run, it wasn't incredible, but they ran the ball 40 times. They really went for it. But the passing offense, again, just kind of sputtering. And again, 15 points. Bill Belichick said it himself in the post game, Taylor.
Yeah.
15 points isn't going to get it done most weeks.
I'm glad he acknowledged it because I kind of felt like a jerk going downstairs. Like at first we heard from David Andrews, who fairly credited the offensive line. They didn't allow a sack. They ran for 150 yards. Like they answered two big question marks where we were saying, okay, they can't pass protect and they can't run the ball. They can't find balance. And they did those two things. And they're,
The
I think, the
running was
only things that
important.
really kept them in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was clearly something they wanted to do because they kept coming out in 2 and 3 tight end sets, sometimes using Pharaoh Brown, or pretty often using Pharaoh Brown as a fullback to kind of diversify what they were able to do. And we saw that really be the lifeblood of the offense. But, the offensive line was really the only, like, yes, that's awesome. We found some continuity. Let's go. But other than that, man, I thought that the downfield passing game, I tweeted that I wasn't sure what went wrong exactly because this is the second of 3 games where they played in really bad weather. So you can't discount the fact that it is harder to throw downfield in those conditions. There were also times where it just seemed like the chemistry was so off. I didn't know who was at fault. But at the same time, like Mac Jones was throwing a few uncatchable passes. There were 2 to Demario Douglas that I think should have been penalties. Like the refs were really keeping flags in their pockets for some reason on a few plays. But it really killed them, especially when there were third down in manageable situations where they could have gone to the sticks or, just shy of the sticks and maybe gotten something. And then instead you see them take a shot that's not even close. Like that kept killing them on third downs. You had some big conversions, and then you also had penalties. Like there was the one drive, you had 3 penalties on a 3-play drive. You had the one for too many men on the field where they got bailed out with a really impressive, albeit completion to Devontae Parker along the sideline. And then Cole Strange had a holding earlier in the game that ended up contributing to them having to punt. So they didn't turn the ball over. That was huge. And I think that's a big reason they won the game because I'm sure if one of those drives ended in a penalty and gave New York some momentum for better field position, this game might have gone a bit differently. So there were big, big good things to take away. Again, turnovers, offensive line play, but the downfield passing game being non-existent was really scary. And we'll see if it is, a product of the elements, if it really is just the execution, because next week they play in the dome, so there's not going to be any excuses.
Yeah, I mean, look, I I don't know how long we're gonna keep treating this with kid gloves. They don't have dynamic receivers that can get separation and get open downfield. It's going to be a problem all year. They really don't.
Demario,
I mean,
Demario,
Demario, fine, but again, they're so in love with Demario that after benching him last week, he played 18 snaps this week. So again, not really in their game plan. Obviously, running the ball was in their game plan today. I think the snap count, amazingly, Juju Smith-Schuster leads them in snaps. with 54, Parker 52, Parker Bourne 38, Douglas 19. When Douglas was out there, they threw. He ran 13 routes and 19 snaps. Juju ran only 20 routes in his 54 snaps. So he was out there a lot when they were running the ball. But they're not, there's just not much going on. And again, we don't know what you're going to get out of Tyquan Thornton when he comes back off the pup there, but certainly someone who can at least threaten the defense with his speed. I think, maybe that changes things a little bit, but you've got Parker, a 50-50 guy, Bourne, who had a couple of nice plays. One time he, was able to shake Sauce and get a first down and make some plays, and he can do that from time to time. Juju Smith-Schuster is a net negative at this point, just in terms of the passing offense, what he's doing. He's not doing anything. So, right, and you've got tight ends who are not. I mean, again, you've got a Pharaoh Brown 58-yard touchdown and Hunter Henry, who's your kind of security blanket. Neither one of these guys is striking fear into opponents' hearts. The Patriots don't have anyone you have to game plan for at this point. So they have to be smart. They have to have good design. They have to have good execution. You got to rely on Mac's timing and his accuracy in order to be able to get things out. But again, it's always kind of, this is, I think, what we're going to have to deal with this offense, which is, again, why the running game, I think, Taylor, was so important today, is if you're going to dink and dunk your way down the field, you got to be able to run the ball a little bit. Yeah, and in order to soften the defense up some, so you might hit a play or two down the field. But again, really nothing going downfield, at this point. Just looking at Mac, how do you think Mac did? You mentioned he threw a couple away, and I don't know if it's just simply there was just guys who were just too covered, or there's just certain times he could have thrown a better ball.
Yeah, the downfield stuff I got to say for the film breakdown, so I can see definitively what he was seeing with the whole field. But at the same time, I thought that, like I've been saying, that Mac, especially in situational football, has been pretty good. He's had like 3 moments where he's hesitated in pretty big moments, and I think it cost them a bit. But I think he's been a net positive. This was the first game where I can't really say that like Mac Jones is the reason that you played well. It was the offensive line, it was the run game, and the threat of the run game take a lot of pressure off him. I would probably give him like a C minus today. Like he made some throws he needed to make. There were a couple of throws that were pretty scary. There was the one screen, 3rd and 15. They've got to stop with the 3rd and like extra long screens because defenses keep snipping them out. And this is the second time this season that he's almost been intercepted on one of those. Maybe if you look at it again, I know Quinn Williams got a hand on it. I'm not sure how interceptable it was, but it was a scary play. And then there was the one to Hunter Henry where I will say it was really a good defensive play because I knew what was coming when I saw the formation when Hunter Henry split out into a stack. But that was another one where it seemed like a really close call. So yeah, I thought he made the throws that he needed to make and that were there, but I thought some of the other ones that could have put the offense in position to do better and move the chains, I thought he missed on. So I would say like a generous C minus just based on the initial watch.
Wow. And Taylor will dig deeper into the film and give a more honest look. But yeah, it felt like this wasn't a great Mac game. Really, and again, it's just I don't know what to feel like. You've got you stack up these 3 games, Taylor. You got the moral victory against Philly, where that was better than anybody expected, and you were competitive against a team that's considered, a top 4 team in the entire NFL and a legit Super Bowl contender. And then the Dolphins, who what's funny is you're pretty disappointed about what happened against Miami last week. Then you see what they did today, and you're like, okay, we did all right here, I think. But the common denominator through all of this is the offense's inability to put points on the board, which means your defense is going to have to be near perfect, and you can't turn the ball over ever. The margin of error this team is playing with, because they just don't have the offensive personnel to do what they need to do, is a challenge. Like I don't know when it gets better or if it gets better.
It's still so early, man, and
it is. I'm throwing it out to you.
But there is reason for concern. I think that's fair.
I'm not doing an like a victory lap at all over it. Right. I think a lot of people felt the way I felt coming in. I'm telling you, can you find a way? Is there anything you see that gives you some hope or some thought? They can still figure some things out and be a little bit more if not explosive, just be a little bit more dangerous than they are right now, because they really don't look like a difficult team to defend.
I think the offensive line and the ground game, like that's the thing. It stinks because like Mac Jones didn't play well, but they won this game when Mac in the offense, passing offense, didn't play particularly well on the strength of their line and their run game. Like I think that's huge. Like you said, that's got to be the difference maker. Where if you're going to have an offense that dinks and dunks down the field, you got to be able to do it in a different way and be able to have them respect you running the ball. I think that's a massive step in the right direction because that was something that scared me. It's like if you have bad offensive line play, nothing else matters because you're not going to have time, even if guys are getting open. And you can't just keep throwing things quick because then defenses are smart and they'll be able to figure you out. So, and beyond that, I do think there's a lot more potential with Demario Douglas than we've seen. I think even like Kendrick Bourne, we've seen him getting open downfield. It's not like he's blanketed every time. Like he's got some good reps. It's just the connection hasn't been there. And again, it's been 2 bad weather games. So you say, all right, like I want to give them some benefit of the doubt. But that's why, like this week, I've been saying was big for the offensive line. Like you've got Trent Brown back. It was the healthiest they've been in a long time. You had to prove that. Now next week, it's okay. No excuses. You're in a dome. You've got a healthy offensive line. You've seen plenty of reps of what you did poorly trying to go downfield in this game specifically. Before I thought it was more execution, like receivers weren't catching passes that they should have caught. This was one where it's just like everything's out of whack. Next week, if you could put something together, then it's a step in the right direction. But I agree that it's not looking good right now.
You know what it's starting to feel like based on what they're doing and what I'm seeing now with just and again it wasn't, but just the 3 tight end sets. A lot of 2 tight end and the way they're doing running the ball 40 times today. This feels like the Cam Newton season where we're not going to do anything real on offense, but let's just keep it. Let's keep a ball control offense. Let's be smart. Let's see if we can bully a little bit. Let's see if we can pound the ball and just make smart plays and just keep it together and then hope that our defense will keep us in games. But I feel like the white flag has already been waved on this offense in terms of what they think it can do. Because what's going to happen is people at home are going to start clamoring for the kids. What bugs me a little bit here is the thing that you just said, Taylor, is maybe there's hope, and that hope is here's why there's hope. It's Demario Douglas, Tyquan Thornton, maybe Kayshon Boutte. Not because they're necessarily better than the guys you have running out here, but you're pretty certain you know what those guys have. So if there's going to be anything to open up this game, it's going to be the more athletic, more explosive, younger playmakers that you have to give opportunities to. But I don't think Bill does that. I think Bill likes to play it safe with his veterans. We've seen that time and again. So I don't know that you're going to get those guys. The fact that Douglas, fine, he got benched last week, when he was, mixing in early and it looked like he might have a role. I thought for sure they were going to come back and fold him into some more plays. He was barely on the field at all here, and they clearly had decided what they were going to do, and it didn't really involve him in this game. And I get it against Zach Wilson.
That was a game plan.
I get it here. All you're trying to do is not lose it on offense against the Zach Wilson-led Jets team. So it's a different game plan. Maybe they'll view it a little differently next week against the Cowboys. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just don't think that if they keep sputtering like this and there's nothing happening, like at the same time, like relying on young players isn't always great because they have to prove it in practice. Like if Demario Douglas is having good days in practice and he's producing, then they'll put him on the field more. And I think they still want to. This was clearly just a very run-heavy game plan. There were times where there was only 1, maybe 2 receivers on the field. So I think that's a big reason why you didn't see as much Demario. But one thing I will say is Juju has been a significant disappointment. And I think it is the knee because looking like he had 1,000 yards last year. You could say it's Patrick Mahomes. I don't care who's throwing you the ball. He had 1,000 yards last season. Before camp, I was expecting, okay, he's going to be a yak guy. He's going to be a chain mover. If they flex him out, he's shown that he can win some one-on-one matchups with the back shoulder fades like you see from Hopkins. In camp, I lower those expectations because it was like, all right, he's not catching a lot of passes. And when he does, it's usually over the middle, short stuff. Like, all right, manage expectations for Juju. I get it. At least he'll be a consistent, reliable, chain moving kind of guy. But what we're seeing now is like he doesn't really contribute consistently in any facet of the game. And that's where maybe I was wrong, but also he doesn't look like the same player that we saw last season. I think that's been huge where Kendrick Bourne, you were hoping took a step forward. Devontae Parker, you're hoping becomes a big play threat. And I was surprised he didn't get more opportunities downfield. That was kind of weird to me, considering Mac was doing that for a lot of people. He had the one, and I'm not sure if he stopped running. I heard people saying that, or if it was just a bad ball.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's your veterans are disappointing. Devontae Parker was their best deep play threat, and he hasn't done any of that. Kendrick Bourne has flashed so many times that he can make crazy plays downfield. He hasn't done that consistently, or in the past couple weeks, really. And then again, Juju is not really doing much of anything, and even getting called for a bad penalty on a block that helped contribute to a sputtering drive early on. So, we have to rely on the young guys, but the veterans need to step up and do what they've been expected to do. That's why I was confident that this would be at least a top 12 offense that didn't make mistakes. But, fewer mistakes today, but the execution wasn't good.
Let me ask you this. Where would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, where was your optimism level after the Eagles game, after the Dolphins game, and after this game? Is this the lowest you've felt about this team?
For sure.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, it's mixed.
And
The
it's
offensive line
weird,
makes
right?
me feel
In
a
a
lot
win,
better. Yeah, it's
someone
weird.
in the chat called this a moral loss. You got your moral victory. It's the opposite.
It's spot on.
And again, I see somebody else saying in the chat, well, guys, they moved the ball enough to win. That's all you need to do against the team. Sure, but you gave the Jets the ball back 3 times with a chance to win the game, in the fourth quarter. That's not great. Like, you couldn't even get first downs to ice the game, let alone put the points on to create separation. So,
Okay, I'll be answered. Thank you.
we have to wrap it up soon. I'll let you answer here, Taylor. We're going to do a couple sponsors
Let's
here.
go quick. Sponsors, then we'll talk quick defense.
I don't want you getting tossed. Yeah. So that's what you would say is this was the worst feeling after the 3, because you were hoping that with the gifts you're going to get from the Jets not being able to move it, you'd be able to do a little bit more. But we'll get into that in a little bit, and we're going to talk about the defense as well. Really quickly, we got to pay some bills, and we got to tell you guys about our sponsors here. Of course, everybody at this point knows about Fanduel, terrific sponsor, America's number one sportsbook, the official gambling partner of the CLNS Media Network. All you have to do here is go to FanDuel.com/Boston, bet 5, get 200 in bonus bets. Check it out. There's a million special offers you can cash in on here as well if you want to get involved in the action here. So once again, it's FanDuel.com/Boston. Also, we've got Odds Are. What is Odds Are? Taylor, do you know?
Odds Are is a great new service that we are currently plugging.
It's a good. So if you're going to bet, Odds Are is going to help you do it. Okay. You download the app, you sign up for an account, you get all the data analysis that you need to guide you through point spreads, money lines, basically allows you to bet smarter. It doesn't take your bet. It just makes you better at it. So Patriots Press Pass listeners have a special deal. Get your first 30 days on the app free. So honestly, this is such a slam dunk. Sign up for FanDuel, and then you get 30 days on Odds Are here to make sure that your free money that FanDuel is giving you, which is the 200, is bet wisely. So you go to 30-day free trial, Odds Are, that's oddsr.com/presspass to download the app. Once again, oddsr.com/presspass. 30 days of smart betting free. We would call that a winning bet. Now, get into the defense here. Again, it's almost like how much can you learn about the offense, like in the preseason when the O-line was gone and blah, 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 and this and that. How much can you know about the defense when you're facing Zach Wilson and the Jets?
Yeah, I'm going to be quick so I don't get in trouble. I think the
You're
defense
not getting in trouble.
I think the defense did what they set out to do. Like, they came out in an actual base personnel grouping where they had 3 down linemen and 4 actual linebackers. Usually it's Marte Mapu who's that 4th, but we all know he's a safety that they call a linebacker because you don't put linebackers in the deep middle of the field. But this week we saw Keon White and Anthony Jennings, who hadn't been active all season, and we saw Jelani Tavai and Juwan Bentley in the middle. They clearly wanted to stop the run. Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall both had 18 rushing yards, which is pretty insane, even considering they're one-dimensional on offense for the Jets. Zach Wilson was sacked 3 times. They gave up the 1 long touchdown run. They put a cap on the offense the entire rest of the game. So I think Gonzalez, his work that we saw against Garrett Wilson was locking him down. I think the biggest takeaway is that the one good offensive player they had who was not behind the offensive line, which the Jets offensive line struggled today against the Patriots front, which was expected. I thought Christian Gonzalez did really well against last year's offensive rookie of the year.
I believe Romo at one point already anointed Gonzalez as one of the best corners in the NFL right now. Are we a little premature on that?
They
That
did it
could
with
be fake
Sauce.
news also.
They did it with Patrick Surtain. Like, yeah, if you are good and you're not giving up big plays for the first few weeks, then like, yeah, they're gonna say that every year.
Okay.
But it's also true. I don't think it's because he's had some pretty insane tests the first 3 weeks, and he's come out with flying colors for the most part. So I do think it's pretty fair that he's getting praise. But like let's maybe wait a little bit longer before we go that far. But he has played fantastic football.
And they needed it because you're down every single Jones today, and that was, that's something that you definitely had some problems in the secondary. I want to
Mhm.
quickly ask about Zeke. I know they ran the ball hard here. Were you surprised
Yeah.
seeing the split that you got out of this game with Ramondre? And again, Ramondre's out there a lot more. He was out
Yeah.
there. He's more of the passing down guy. He still was out there nearly 2-1 in terms of snaps. But in terms of carries, 1960, and they brought in Zeke to pound the rock specifically here in this game.
Yeah, and I thought that Mondre again, like he has a big workload. I think that played a big part of it. But I thought it was good to see, people have been asking, is Zeke, does he have his legs? Is he still, he's not the same player, obviously, but he's showed that he could still be very effective. He's been pretty good on toss plays consistently this season. And we also saw that he can get the tough yards inside, and the offensive line did a great job getting pushed. So yeah, I thought this was kind of performance you wanted to see from him if they were going to go ground heavy. Like the Patriots were fighting for every single yard they got, and he managed 5 yards a pop, which I thought was impressive because Ramondre got 3.9, and he he clawed and scratched for every single one of
Yeah,
those.
there
So
wasn't a lot of room there. And there wasn't great. But Zeke ran with a little more burst. A lot of people thought he looked slower the first couple of weeks, and he definitely had a little bit more little more pep in his step
yeah,
today. And he's got the Zeke revenge game next week against the Cowboys. We'll preview that quick in 1 second, but I did want to talk about something that happened outside of MetLife here, and that's the freaking Dolphins putting up 70 freaking points on the freaking Broncos. And Sean Payton, I don't know what he's gotten himself into here. NFL record 726 yards of offense. You had running
that's
backs go
ridiculous.
for 350 yards and 8 touchdowns between the two running backs there. This
Dang.
was incredible. And all of a sudden, the Patriots, allowing the Dolphins to, have a couple successful drives to start the game last week and then play them pretty well the rest of the time, actually
Mhm.
looks pretty good now.
Yeah, man, that's ridiculous. These are like I've never put up those numbers in Madden at any point in my life. Those are insane. Yeah, I think this Patriots defense is better than we thought. It seemed kind of silly that they used that three safety defense, and obviously they got out of it after just like a series or two. But they forced the Dolphins to throw underneath. They tackled, and they didn't allow them to get the big chunk plays. And the run defense obviously did struggle. There were some objectively bad refs that you want to see them clean up, and they're better than those. But at the same time, this was a great offense that they held to a pretty modest day for any good offense,
Yep.
much less one that obviously is putting up ridiculous numbers like that. So it just makes you feel better about the Pats defense and maybe a little more scared of the Dolphins because they did that without Jalen Waddle.
They did. How many quarters would it take the Patriots to put up 70 points against anybody?
How many quarters are in a season?
How many points do the
That
Patriots have
many.
this year?
That many.
Not 70. Not 70. I'll tell you
Not
that.
something.
What did they have? They had how many coming in?
Uh,
52 coming in plus 15. Oh, nope, they have
sounds like
52
a lot.
total. Sorry, they're at 52 right now.
I feel so bad for Garrett Bowles. His post game press conference was just heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Yeah. He was
yeah.
saying like all I've done here is lose. And like he's a tackle. It's not like he's, a wide receiver or like a diva. That's a dude who's getting his ass kicked every single day. And man, you gotta feel for the guy.
Very quickly here, Taylor. The Dallas Cowboys next week, they lost. Okay,
Yeah, cards.
lost to the Cardinals. Nobody saw
Yeah.
that coming.
That was pretty insane. Yeah, I don't know if Brandon Cooks played or not. I haven't seen the stats. I know that he was out last week, which definitely impacted their ability to put points on the board and like move the ball. Obviously, they did pretty well against the Jets. But the passing game wasn't as good as you would expect for my Cowboys passing attack. Let me see the stats right now. Wow, Brandon Cooks, two receptions, 17 yards. Damn. Yeah, I'll have to watch the tape and see what they did because that's pretty wild. And it also, makes you
That
more
did not
optimistic for
look
what the
great at
Patriots
all,
can
but
do.
their D backs played. Their D backs played really well. Um,
Well,
uh,
Patriots have good DBs, so hopefully this week letting John Jones rest up will pay off next week.
Well, I think once again is you're facing another tough defense, obviously, but things have changed now with Diggs obviously out of the
Yeah.
game. I think the Patriots will do their best to scheme up guys like Parsons. There's other playmakers they have there, but this game looks a little less daunting based on everything we've seen outside of what the Patriots are doing. You saw what the Dolphins did, and you feel better about the Patriots' defensive effort against them, and you've seen Dallas really lay an egg here offensively, and
Yeah.
their defense come down to earth some. So this game, I think, was penciled in as an automatic L and potentially an embarrassing one. The way that the Cowboys are playing, I think maybe less so this week. Then again, they could be mad as hell and things could get really ugly, but I don't know.
And Patriots offense should be mad as hell after today. So hopefully they match each other's energies.
Yeah, yeah. So Taylor, any closing thoughts here before you get tossed?
Defense. Have faith in the Patriots defense. Be excited that the offensive line looks better and that the running backs got things going. And be skeptical of the passing offense because they have not given any reason to feel otherwise.
Yeah. All right. Last thing we want to tell you, and again, this is the correct thing here. Factor Meals. That's what we want to talk about. Factormeals.com / newsfeed 50. If you go check that out. No, we'll do press pass 50. Sorry. Factormeals.com / press pass 50. This is a ready to eat meal kit. You can get it. And it's basically good to go. There's no cooking, there's no prep, there's nothing, but it's not frozen process. It's delivered fresh to your door. It's a really fast and easy way to eat restaurant quality food that's literally delivered to your doorstep. All you have to do is heat it up and go. Factormeals.com / presspass50. Make sure you check that out. Once again, Patriots defeat the Jets in kind of a slop fest 15-10. Taylor's going to dig deep into the film, check things out, and see what he likes here. I felt like there was something else we wanted to touch on. Is there anything left over?
I don't know if so. I'll tweet it. I'll make a video or something. I'm genuinely afraid of that man coming back and getting himself.
I've got your back. I'm literally watching your back. And yes,
All
I
right.
would agree with some of the comments here. The Patriots don't have the speed that the Cardinals have, and that's what got Dallas today. With a couple big plays there for sure. And that was, they really caught him off guard. They really caught him off guard. There's some warring here in the it's an automatic L 5-12 season. Some people are down. I think people are more down than up on this win. He's gone.
Oh,
Dove
yes, I'm
Taylor,
sorry.
we gotta go. He's out of
I'm
here.
so sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
wrapping it
Okay.
up.
Seriously, I'm gone. Bye. I love
No,
you all. Thank you for
Taylor,
tuning in.
Taylor, don't get arrested.
Okay.
Guys, thank you for watching. Check it out on our YouTube channel.
I'm
Taylor's
wrapping up
gonna
right
go.
now.
Watch. Look, he's
Thank
gone. He's already gone. Bye, Taylor.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want Taylor to get any trouble there. Taylor at the Meadowlands, holding down the fort, and that is a problem sometimes when you're on the road. Those guys can get a little feisty and they want to toss you, and it's New York, so they don't have much tolerance there. I have been locked in a stadium once before. That wasn't fun either. Sometimes you can hang out really, really, really late with the television crews doing all of your tapings and all of your live stuff. And yes, I have been locked inside a stadium. So at least Taylor was that guy was nice enough to let him know that the time has come. So again, thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry it was so quick, but again, as we said, Taylor was being run out of there. More stuff coming tomorrow. You're going to get more podcasts, Patriots Daily, Patriots Beat. Taylor's going to break down some film as well. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Patriots Press Pass. Thank you guys for hanging out. We do appreciate it. We'll see you guys